Hello and welcome to Spooning With Mark Wogan. As ever, we are here in the Mount Street restaurant in London's Mayfair, where Jamie Shears and the Mount Street team have been cooking up a storm for today's guest. The difference is they will be eating some of their food blindfolded. Now, in front of me, I have the intro for today's guest, and I am going to read it because it has been written by Johnny, the producer, and quite frankly, he has crammed a number of puns into it. So here we go. My guest today is back, baby. 10 years since her last album, she's been saying mum-a-doo as she became a mum last year to baby Albert. Plus, she has made a beautiful new album called Encino, recorded in LA, which is out to download now. So, boys and girls, it's not all about tonight. It's about now, as I turn it up and welcome for a spooning, Pixie Lott.
Hello there.
Now, I can't take any credit for that.
I was going to say, I love that.
It's a punathon. It's a
really
complete
is.
punathon. But welcome to Spooning. Thank you for agreeing to take on the spoons.
Oh, thank you for having
And obviously
me.
we like everybody to feel comfortable and at ease here. So we've got you your two favourite drinks, which is a latte and a glass of champagne.
Woohoo!
Now, it
Can't be
might be a
happier.
little early for the champagne. And, you know, as you said when you arrived, you rushed here in the rain.
Yeah.
So we're the hair's not as dry as it normally would be. But I mean,
I'm going for the wet hair look today.
I'm liking the wet look. The
like
wet looks,
it?
yeah, the wet look's working.
It's what we're
The
going to have to
wet
have
look's
today.
working. 10 years since your last album.
Yeah.
I mean, for me personally, that's flown by. What has it been like for you?
It really has flown by. And they do say time flies when you're having fun, which is true. But I would never, ever, ever, ever have guessed that it would be a 10-year gap in between albums, because it feels like I've been doing loads of stuff behind the scenes.
Well, like being a mum.
Yeah, being a mum, the most important one. But I did start writing this album 5 years ago, so it's been 5 years in the making.
Well, there's definitely a kind of sense, certainly from the lyrics that I've read and the tunes that I've heard, that it's much more an album of you than I don't know, pop princess you of a while ago. I don't know whether you probably hate that term as I would if I was a pop princess, but and the whole promotional thing and the whole way in which you've now got to do the album must have changed in that time, you know, with social media and TikTok and all that sort of thing. How are you finding all of that?
Well, it has changed massively. And I have been releasing demos and features like throughout the 10 years and still writing songs throughout the whole time. But I was really craving a body of work, an album of like organic, real, raw music, authentic. And I've always wanted to do an album like that. And at the start of writing Encino, I was like, right, it's now or never. I've just got to make this happen for myself. So I had to do a bit of a leap of faith and go out on my own. And out to Encino in California.
I was wondering, was
Yeah.
that why it's called Encino? I see
That's
what
the
you did there.
reason.
What shall I call this album? Oh, Street Song. Excellent.
Yeah, it made it quite easy. But it's as well, it was such a change from how I'd made previous albums. I was working with new people every single day, loads of different producers and writers, loads of different sounds. And it was an amazing experience, like that whole world. But I didn't know that you could make an album in this way with a really small team of people. And I started it with Dave and Jeeve, my co-writers and producers in Encino, and they believed in this whole vision of just make it real grassroots, stripping it right back. And to be able to make a body of work over a long period of time and really build up the relationship where you can talk and write about whatever you want instead of just meeting someone for the first day and then on to the next for the next day. It was a really freeing way to write an album, and now I don't really want to write an album any other way now that I've done it this way.
Well, and there's much more of, as I said, much more of you in it, because every single song you have a songwriting credit on.
Yeah.
And, you know, you touch upon subjects that perhaps 10 years you couldn't have done, you know, like the song Somebody's Daughter and that, you know, the much deeper lyrics. And almost in your vocal as well, there is understandably a maturity wasn't there
Yeah.
10 years ago. Have you found that your singing has changed as you've got older?
Yeah,
because it's definitely different on this album.
Yeah, I feel like, and I say this is the album I've always wanted to make, but then if I did, and because I started out so young, if I did do this album when I first started out, it wouldn't be the same, because I had to go through life and get older to have these like different experiences and hardships to be able to write about. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been this album. So even though it was a long time coming, I needed to live life a bit to be able to write about these kind of things. So definitely in the writing side of things, but also vocally, I've, been singing for as long as I can remember. And this album is so much about the storytelling and the honest, real delivery that I've really learned to not over-sing everything, just the story is the most important thing.
You're impressing with every aspect of the music rather than just feeling like you've got to impress with the voice. Because, unlike a lot of people or artists from that period, you can actually sing.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, but I mean, you can actually sing, hence you were, you've been a judge on The Voice and that kind of thing. Will The Voice come back, by the way?
I don't know. I hope so. It's on a rest at the moment.
Yeah.
But we did it for the past 7 years, so I absolutely loved doing it. And working with just so many amazing vocalists has been incredible. I love working with young talent. It's something that I've always done. I think because I started out that way.
Yeah, because you started out at Italia Conti.
Yeah.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
Which I always have a place in my heart for Italia Conti because in my restaurant Home Slice we employ a lot of people from Italia Conti.
Yes, the Conti kids.
Yeah, the Conti kids make up a lot of Home Slice's front of house staff. Yes.
That makes me very happy, and they're always front of house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't want to be back at the back making pizzas.
No.
But because they're natural performers, they make great front of house people.
Yeah.
And, we have lots of people who kind of come in, loop out, come back round again.
Yeah.
We're a sort of nice source of income between engagements.
That's so great that you're helping support performance, because there is so many, it's such an in and out. You're working 1 minute, you're not working the next. So you need to have something that keeps you going in those times.
Were you worried, having taken the break that you took? I mean, I know you kept your hand in various, with songwriting and various other things you did, but to actually go, all right, I've got a body of work now, I want to put it out there. With all the success, I mean, because the first album, what was it, 1.6 million copies sold and all that sort of stuff, and all that madness around suddenly being a big star. Were you worried that it wouldn't trip in the same way, or are you looking for something completely different from it this time?
That is a good question, because I feel like, even though it will probably feel like to the outside that I took a break and I was taking time away, I've been working this whole time, but just on other projects. So it's always projects that I feel would help me as an artist or like round me as a performer. So I love doing The Voice Kids. I've been doing acting projects and writing songs for other people.
Yeah, aren't you? You've got a Christmas movie you've been doing?
Christmas film, yes, we did this year, a few months ago. It's not actually out until next Christmas.
Oh, right.
They film these things way in advance. But that was amazing. That was an amazing experience. I love doing that. I like to take on things that would help me as an artist, because music really is my absolute passion.
But you're one of those annoying people. You're a sort of multi-threat. Well, I mean, sing, dance, act.
I give it a go. I love it all.
The whole thing. And, is there a children's book?
There isn't yet. Should I?
I don't know.
I got it. Everyone does that one.
Yeah, maybe just a full novel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. I just think you're one of those people that you strike me as whatever you decide you want to do or turn your hand to, you do it well. Is that because deep down, under the angelic exterior, is a deeply determined competitive person?
Yeah, I mean, well, thank you for saying that, first of all. But secondly, I am kind of obsessed with the entertainment industry still. And I have given my life to it, I feel like. It's all I've ever known. And I think I will always do that, because it's such a passion. And I love it so much that I would never regret giving my all to it.
But do you know you're lucky in terms of the fact that you've been able to kind of stay in work? Because, you know, as we were talking about, you know, I've got all these fantastic people who work for me who are very talented, but it isn't necessarily, you know, that sort of sliding door moment when your demo got in the right hands of the right person and then you were signed.
Yeah.
I mean, I always think about my wife, who is the unluckiest recording artist in history, having had 7 record deals and never had a release. So it's, you know, that, do you ever kind of have those pinch yourself moments where you go, oh wow, I've got to take this in because this might not happen again, or the chances of this happening are so slim?
Oh yeah, totally. I feel super lucky and grateful that I get to do what I love still, 100%. But there's always been in me as well a drive and a determination and a passion and a fire. And it's like, if that door closes, okay, I'll go to the next one. If that door closes, I'll go to the next one. And I've been like that since I was a kid. And that's what kind of helped get my foot in the door in the first place. And I think that's the advice I always give to people. Just keep showing up. And it's it's an amazing business, but it is a crazy business. And I think it's like, you just have to keep going and keep showing up. And if you've got that passion and you can't imagine doing anything else, you do have to keep going. But it's tough.
You know, you hear it a lot with people who, you know, achieve a level of success. Yeah, I was a 10-year overnight success, you know, because they don't see, you know, the wider public don't see the years of graft to get there. Or the other thing that slightly concerns me with reality shows like The Voice or whatever, it's just like, well, I'll just get on one of those and everything's going to be okay. And it's not. No, that's when the work starts. And I think, you know, my son wants to act.
Yeah.
And it's that thing of like, how do I instill in a 17-year-old how hard he's going to have to work if he wants that to be what he wants to do, you know? And it's always that interesting thing. So when people achieve a level of notoriety or whatever, I think it is important that they sort of retain an element of, I am lucky to be doing this. Although I am talented and I believe in my own abilities and all that sort of thing, I am lucky to be doing this. The same way it's like this podcast came around for no good reason at all, but I enjoy doing it, and I think I'm very lucky to be able to do it and meet people like you and talk to you and then stuff food you like and maybe stuff you don't like in your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, it is so true. Like, I definitely feel very grateful. And I think also, like I'm saying, like the ups and downs in the business and the industry, you kind of have to like learn to, like I said, keep going, keep showing, and keep showing up, and keep and enjoy the crazy ride of it all. And also, you can do everything you possibly can. Like in my head, I'm always like, I want to try and tick every box that I possibly can, but sometimes it's all about timing and like the way the universe brings things together, and you can like try everything on something and it just not be the right time, and then all of a sudden everything falls into place so magically. But as long as you're doing everything you can, you're always there for when that magic opportunity happens.
Exactly.
You're ready for it.
Do your best, be okay with the outcome.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you've done your best, that's all you can do.
And realise you're not driving the bus.
Yeah.
We all think we're driving
It's
the
out
bus.
of our hands,
and we're
isn't
not.
it?
Now, underneath this here, I have something that you specifically said you liked, which is your breakfast of dreams. No, ignore that one, that's something else.
Is it with some gravy?
No. So, tell the people at home what we've put up in front of you there.
So this is a lovely poached eggs on sourdough with avocado. And my friends will rip me for this because apparently it's a basic bitch choice of breakfast.
I like it. I'm happy to be a basic bitch if that's the case.
I love it.
Because it's nice.
It's really good.
And it's a nice alternative because, I mean, you are pescatarian?
Yeah, but I'm pescatarian, but I eat chicken now.
Yeah. Pescatarian who likes the odd chicken, as long as it's a good chicken.
Yeah, you got it.
But it's just nice occasionally not to have the full English for me, because I am and the whole reason for this podcast is I don't have anything I don't eat. So, people go, oh, I don't like this. I just believe there's no such thing as a bad ingredient outside of a life choice or
I see.
religious belief or anything like that. So it's not like, I'm saying, what's wrong with you because you don't eat meat? You choose not to. But that is your go-to breakfast.
It's my go-to, and I do put chilies on it as well.
Okay. Yeah, because you love a chili.
I do.
Don't you?
Spicy.
You do love a chili. Now, the other thing that you love, and you share a commonality with my wife, Susan, is this stuff. And I've got it down here.
Da, 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 da.
Mayonnaise. Now, my wife's edict, which you may share, is there is nothing that cannot be improved by mayonnaise.
She's my girl. I'm so pleased she feels the same way.
And I've got to be honest, and if they are looking to sponsor anything, it should only ever be Hellmann's.
Hellmann's is the best.
Hellmann's is the best. Others may try, but it's just not the same, is it?
Doesn't
I mean,
compare.
like I could, I spent years as a chef, so I can make nice mayonnaise, but I still prefer Hellmann's. I don't know what it is.
There must be some kind of secret ingredient.
And
in
don't
there.
go for the Hellmann's light. Just
the full thing is the best.
Just don't have it every day, slathered over everything.
Yeah.
But-
Actually, is mayonnaise that bad for you? 'Cause isn't it just eggs and...
Well,
What's the
I think
other
there's a couple of other things in here, but we won't mention them just in case they'd like to sponsor us. But Hellmann's, for all your food needs. No, but now, one of the things that I find very strange is that you will put Hellmann's with something quite odd.
What?
Which is, I've got over here, Sunday roast chicken
That's
for
the
you
proper
there.
stuff.
That's the proper stuff there.
That with mayonnaise is just the best combination.
I can't condone that. I'm sorry. I really can't.
But if you was going to have a chicken sandwich, what would you put in it?
Oh, definitely. That bit as a kind of addendum to some leftovers, definitely,
Yeah.
but not with it.
And
It's
what
like,
about the crunchy roast potatoes?
yes, no, I give you, look, it is a fantastic thing, mayonnaise, because it will go with anything, and you can sort of then add things to it to make something else and that kind of thing. It's like, I like a bit of mayonnaise with a bit of sriracha in it.
Oh, yeah. Love that.
And then you'd have a spicy chicken and potato sandwich for leftovers. But that is, if it's done well, and it is done well here, and I can assure you of the quality of that chicken should you wish to try it. But that is just so perfect in itself that it doesn't require this. Like my brother-in-law, Henry, he is the condiment king.
Well, he loves all condiments.
Like too much.
My mum does as well.
It's that thing of like, would you like some food with your sauces?
Just a soup of HP sauce.
Just everything. It's like, stop, you can't taste anything.
Yeah.
So I think it can remove some of the subtleties of it, but I get it. I mean, one of the things that does upset me is Susan does like to dip her pizza crusts in mayonnaise.
Oh, that's perfect.
No.
Yes, Susan.
Oh, no.
That is so, it's so good.
Now,
Come on.
you've got a new single out,
Yeah.
Midnight Trash.
Yes.
Now, having listened to this song, and it's a great song, and your voice sounds fantastic on it.
Thank you.
Are you an insomniac?
So, at the moment, actually, I say at the moment, so I've got a 1-year-old now, and he's going to be turning
which
one.
helps with insomnia, let me tell you.
Yeah. So I've kind of got a different sleepless night, just because he's still waking up in the night. So, but that's due to Bertie, I'd say.
How long's Bertie sleeping in a row?
It still is varying. So he doesn't sleep through the night yet. Sometimes it can be once or twice. Sometimes it can be 5 times.
And
He
do
mixes
you
it.
have like a sort of group of mothers around you where, there's one of them's a bit smug? Ophelia's sleeping all the way through.
I have heard that when I've spoken to other mums, and they're like, my baby slept through since 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah, but I just
do
think,
that?
I don't know, I just think people lie.
Do you think?
I think people lie.
That makes me feel a bit better
Well,
about it.
because they don't want their kid to appear like, in any trouble. I like the ones who go, he won't sleep, I hate him. Because that's the honesty of it. It's like, it's hard work.
It is tough in the night when you're trying. Well, when you're, busy, and also I need sleep for the old voice because of
Yeah.
all the shows at the moment.
Yeah.
So, it's easier when he only wakes once or twice. On the 5 waking, that's a tricky one.
So are you there quietly in your head going, Mummy loves you, Bertie, but if you ruin her voice for tomorrow...
The weird thing is, I thought, like, before Bertie, I was very, like, need all my sleep. I love my sleep. I was known for, like, sleeping on a washing line. I could sleep anywhere, take my naps here, there, everywhere. So I was like, oh, gosh, what am I going to do? Because when you have a baby, you don't sleep. Is my voice going to be all right? And I think you just get used to the new thing, don't you? So it's actually been okay. And I've obviously had a lot of coffee as well to help through. But this actually, the song was written before Bertie. And it was actually a time, I had a really tough time after a play I did in the 10-year gap. And I was really struggling afterwards. And that was as a result of that period where I was finding it hard to sleep, tight chest. And then I wrote that song about making it through and hopefully getting through to the other side. And I did, thankfully.
Well, I mean, I have a thing where I don't believe there is any good thinking between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m.
Any good thinking?
No, I don't do any decent thinking between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. So
It's
when
so
I
true.
wake and my head starts, I just have to stop myself and go, I am not going to solve this right now. There's nothing I can do about this, head worm that's going on. And eventually I can kind of fall back to sleep. But you get a sense that with the lyrics and listening to the song, it's like this has been a struggle for you. And I think it is, if you are a performer, how that anxiety can build up, and then when you're trying to have your rest, you've got nowhere to take it. And I got a real sense of that from that song. So it was nice. And if you do get to, are you doing Chris Evans's show with this album?
I did the breakfast show, but with Angela. Chris was on holiday,
It's
I
a
think.
shame because Chris can't sleep either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a proper insomniac. Yeah.
And is he through the other side, or is
I think he is. He's claiming he only wakes up once a night now. But that might be to do with his age and needing to go to the loo.
Oh. Yeah, that happens, I guess, when you get a bit older.
Well, if you're a bloke, yeah.
But he has to wake up so early for the breakfast show as well. So maybe that's got... when you have to wake up really early, your brain
I couldn't live those hours.
It's a tough one, isn't
Well,
it?
because my default day would be I would go to bed about 2 in the morning and then not wake up till 10.
That would be your natural, you mean?
That's where I think I would be my most comfortable.
Me too. I'm definitely more a night owl than an early
But
bird.
now I've had to change it. As I've got older, it's like I now get up around 6:30, which is
By
weird.
choice?
Well, by
Even when you
an
don't have work?
alarm.
Oh, if you
Okay.
didn't have the alarm, when would you wake up?
I don't know really, but I've kind of had to put routine in,
Yeah.
which kind of feels really grown up. Because in my head I'm still about 25.
Yeah.
So
I feel the same.
You're there just kind of trying to go, oh, well, I need my 8 hours, otherwise,
Yeah.
And I wear this silly thing on my wrist.
What's that?
That is a Whoop.
Oh, whoop, whoop.
Also, if you are available for sponsorship, Whoop is probably
You're
the best,
after a sponsor, you are.
the best form of body.
I've
what do they
never
call
heard
these
of a
things?
Whoop.
Yeah, there's Whoop. Well, there's the Aura Ring and there's the Whoop and all these different
Wow.
things.
What does it do?
I am slightly, and the reason this song, the lyrics resonated is like I am slightly obsessed with my sleep,
Oh, getting enough.
getting enough.
Yeah, I mean, sleep is so important. You read all this stuff, don't you, that you need to have the full 8 hours. But then if you obsess on it too much, then you don't get
exactly.
it. You're
But
like,
it's
I need to
learning to
sleep.
switch off that head, I think, is
Yeah.
the skill.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you've got Bertie, which is a year old, and you are now, Mum's sort of going through that process of launching an album, and that's
Yeah.
busy time and whatever. Does your revoltingly handsome husband do any of the heavy lifting with this, or is he busy flying around the world, having his photograph taken? Because if the listeners don't know, you are married to Oliver Cheshire, who is
Yes.
one of the world's most successful male models.
Yeah.
So Good job, you. Nice
I
score
never know
there.
what to say.
But I mean, do the two of you just sit there and go, look, do you know, darling, I just fancy having an ugly day today? Because you're two, it's two
Oh my God.
terribly good-looking people together.
You should see us on the daily, honestly. Thank you very much. But no, we are, first of all, he's a very hands-on dad, and he's an amazing dad, and he loves it. And we hopefully would love to have more bubbers. But he is also very busy, but he has a freelance, not freelance, I guess like, self-employed, so he does, obviously he's modelling, but he has a men's fashion brand.
Yes.
So he works every day on that, and that keeps him like really busy. But because we kind of work for ourselves,
because it's kind of beachwear and that
resort wear,
that's
and they're kind of expanding into more stuff now. But he designs it, so he loves doing that, like creatively.
And looks really good in it too.
I say thank you on his behalf.
I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure I could pull it off, but not
Yeah,
necessarily
he needs to
as well
send
as
you
you.
some stuff.
Yes, no, I will
definitely.
happily wear it.
Definitely.
As long as it's free.
It will be free, don't worry. But because we work for ourselves, we can juggle it and make sure it works. And my mum and dad are really helpful and supportive with little Bert as well. So we
that
juggle
does
it all.
help. That does
That
help.
helps
I mean,
massively.
parents really help with
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. It's like, I need some sleep, please.
Yeah,
We'll
definitely.
take him. And they're happy to, because they can hand him back afterwards.
Exactly.
It's not permanent for them.
Yeah, no, they love it. It's definitely busy for them, because I've got a brother and sister who have also got 2 new bubbers as well. So there's
Hold on.
our house. There's all these babies running around.
How many babies are there? What's the age range? So Bertie's what, 1?
Bertie's 1. Amelia is going to be 2 in December.
Right.
And then Charles is 2 months behind Bertie.
Oh wow.
So there's lots of like bubbers running around, and they've all like come to my shows. We went to a festival, and they all came down on a big van, and there was all these like babies and a little creche and all my family. So it's like really fun adventures at the moment. But it is mad because one day I'll be like all dolled up and going out on the stage, and then the next day I'll just have like food all down me and like glasses and crazy hair. My hair's crazy today, but in a different way. So it's a real kind of like crazy adventure at the moment, I'd describe it as.
But do the two of you find any time to be there? Because you've been together, what is it, 15 years now?
Yeah.
And I always say, if you've been together that long, you've probably been divorced twice, it's just nobody left.
That's so funny. Yeah, I get like in a long-term relationship like that, you've been through like
You've been
everything,
through
haven't you?
everything,
So yeah.
And there's more
definitely.
to come.
Yeah, I'm sure there's more to come. But it definitely feels like we're on a complete new chapter, because, you know, when you have a baby, everything changes. And we've also been living in flats our whole relationship, and we've just moved into a home for the first time.
Like a proper house with a garden and all that kind of stuff.
So it feels like a new chapter for us, which is exciting because it's very different. But we are definitely overdue a date night, I'd say. So we need to come back to the Mount Street restaurant and have a.
It's very nice. Food's lovely here.
It looks fantastic.
It is. And we are at that point where I'm going to put the blindfold on.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's time for your first spoon. And this is an exercise in trust, because
what do I
I am
do?
going to feed it. So lean forward a bit,
Yeah.
and I'm going to place it. Here comes the train, as you would say. Open wide, a bit wider. There we go. Now, tell me what textures. That's not a good face. Hold on. Go with it. Because it is discombobulating not having the sight thing. What have you got? What flavours have you got there?
That is really tough, I've got to say.
It's
not tough, it's soft, but it's not what I was expecting at all.
We aim to surprise.
Wowza. Okay.
You got any idea of the flavours there? What have you got?
Okay, so I'm kind of, oh man, I'm actually not very good at this. I would say.
Don't worry, most people aren't, including top chefs. But don't say anything.
I would go for. Have we gone straight for dessert then for the first?
Well, yeah.
Okay, so it's cold.
Yeah.
So is there some kind of ice cream involved?
Yes.
And then I would guess some kind of like crumble fruit.
Yes, but
vibe.
do we know what the fruit was?
The fruit would be, come on, guys, let's do this. It's gonna say, doesn't make sense. I really don't get this one.
Whip the blindfold off.
Okay.
Come on, I'm going to reveal it.
Rhubarb.
So it is it's
Mango.
your
Pineapple.
bête noire. It's papaya,
Oh, it's papaya.
which you said is revolting in every way, shape, or form. And I
You know
thought
what? You made it taste nice.
Exactly, no such thing as a bad ingredient, Pixie.
Ah, you're so right.
So that's yogurt ice cream with papaya coulis.
Oh, amazing. That
So
tasted really
so
good.
would you eat the second spoon then? Have we changed your opinion of what can happen with a papaya? Because you were quite adamant about papaya.
Well, this is the thing. I always think papaya tastes like sick. Like
Yeah,
vomit.
you said it tasted like vomit.
It does.
And I thought when it first went in and your mouth changed, I thought, oh, she's gone straight to the papaya there. We may potentially have a spitter on our hands.
No,
Which you wouldn't be the first if you had.
Yeah, okay,
just to-
that makes me feel better if that happens. But no, this was done in such an elegant way.
Well, we're in Mayfair, dear.
We are in
We are
Mayfair,
in
and I
Mayfair.
can tell we're in Mayfair from that because it was so subtle and soft that it wasn't overpowering and sick-like. It was dainty and delicious and cold and just not what I was expecting. So that's why I was.
Well, I get a sense that you're brave and you put on the mask and you kind of took on the challenge, and you do like a challenge. I mean, you did Strictly a while ago.
I did.
How was that? I mean, knowing what we know now, how was your experience of it? Was it a joyous and fantastic experience, or did it have the challenges that people have alluded to recently?
For me, I can only speak from my
Yeah, of
personal
course.
experience. I had the best time, and I loved my partner Trent. We're still really good friends now, and his wife Gordana. They live in Slovenia, which is a bit of a shame, so we don't get to see them as much as we'd like to. But
A friend of mine went walking in Slovenia recently, and he said it is up in the mountains. It's some of the most beautiful places on earth are in Slovenia.
it's so stunning. I went out there to visit them, and it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Highly recommend. But yeah, I loved my experience because of them, really, and everyone who I was on the show with, and also getting that one-to-one, once-in-a-lifetime experience of learning all these amazing ballroom and Latin dances. The thing that I found it so nerve-wracking every Saturday night, which is crazy because I'm used to doing live performances. So then I'm like, gosh, all these like contestants who have never performed before, how must they feel? Because I remember it feeling so live, like to the second.
Yeah.
Like every step has to be exactly in time. And I just remember how nerve-wracking it was.
Yeah, but the determined competitor in you coming out there as well. I mean, it just, the little that I know about you but have read about you kind of maybe suited your personality quite well.
What, doing Strictly? you
Yeah,
mean?
doing Strictly.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I was kind of more just focused on having the best time as well and living it up.
But
After
also-
every Saturday night, we went out clubbing every Saturday. So that was part of my whole experience as well. And I had the best time. This was like 10 years ago as well.
Yeah. But I think also the other thing is, having had the training and the background that you had, you sort of knew what to expect. I think some of the controversy has come about from people who go, I'm going to turn up, you teach me how to dance. But these are professionals.
Yeah.
And they're essentially perfectionists.
Yeah.
And they can't it's difficult when somebody's like, oh, I can't be bothered. You're just like, do you want to do this or not? I mean,
It's
as-
definitely
it
hard
kind of,
work.
Well, it kind of alludes to what we were talking about before, which is that thing of like, you don't get anywhere by not putting in the work. You've
Yeah.
got to put in the work. And I would imagine for a professional ballroom dancer, that can be frustrating when you've got a celebrity who doesn't want to put the work in.
Well, like I said, I can only speak from
Yeah.
my personal experience, and I learnt so much. It is hard work, like the hours you have to put into the training. And Trent was an amazing teacher and very patient and kind. And yeah, I was very lucky with that. So we just really had a blast.
And the fact
a
that
really
you've
good
remained
time.
friends says everything about your experience.
Yeah, love
So
Trent and Gordon.
you said there you love live performing, and obviously you're going to take this new album out on tour.
Yeah.
But you recently did quite a big gig in a park for Radio 2.
Yes.
But you also did karaoke with Rylan.
Yes.
That could be a show.
What could be a show?
You and Rylan doing a karaoke show together. Do you know?
I would love that. You know that is his show though.
Yeah.
Karaoke that he does on
I
Radio
know,
2.
but I mean, you brought something else to it, like arguably the ability to sing.
Rylan's a really good singer.
He is a good singer.
He is
I'm teasing. But we all forget that that's how he started out. Because he's now become this other sort of...
He's a man of many talents.
A man of many talents. And, you know, there's a reason he's had the career that he has. But do you think more TV for you? Is there anything else coming up that way? I mean, you know, maybe, I don't know, now that you're a mother and a wife of many years, you could Loose Women maybe?
I love Loose Women actually. But yeah, no, I mean, for me, like I said, I love the entertainment business. But I kind of, to be honest, like TV, film, drama, dance, music, I do love it all. But
well,
music
annoyingly, you can do it all.
Well, thank you. I give it a go. I don't know what's it called. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, it's funny when it goes the other way. So you get actors, for example, who are incredibly successful, and then they decide that actually what they'd like to be is a rock star.
Yeah, that happens a lot as well.
Not as well as the other, because like you know, you've got musicians who become actors. I think it goes that way more successfully. You know, if you look at Harry Styles, for example.
Oh yeah.
You know,
smashed it.
I mean, I wouldn't be so cruel as to say the ones who'd gone the other way and it hadn't gone so well. But it seems to me that if you're a successful music artist and you decide to act, it somehow works better. You know, Lady Gaga, that kind of thing.
Yeah, she's amazing, isn't
So
she?
I don't know. It kind of doesn't seem to flow from actor to musician as well as it does from musician to actor.
I kind of think, you know, like I was saying earlier, the storytelling is the most important thing, I think. Like, you know, when you listen to a singer and it could be the vocalist, amazing, does all the tricks and the trills, and then there's a vocalist that sings lovely but completely means every single word. You're going to get goosebumps from that one, not the one that does all the tricks and the trills.
No, I mean, and you focus so much of that on the voice. It's like the storytelling.
Exactly. It's the most important part.
Does the listener believe you?
Exactly. And that's where you're going to get that connection and those chills and make people feel something. And that's where I think, acting and music go hand in hand because they're both storytelling.
Yeah.
You both want to, in both kind of mediums, you want to give the most honest performance and connect the story. And so I think they're actually very linked. That's what I think of when I'm performing and when I'm acting. I'm telling the story.
Yeah.
And that's what should come at the number one.
Well, you've had number one. You're about to have number two of your spoons. So if you wouldn't mind donning the blindfold
Okay,
again,
let's do it.
Let's pop it on again.
Is it a dessert again, or are we going?
Well, you know, I'm not going to give it
No
away,
clues,
am I?
okay.
Get that blindfold on.
No
There we
clues,
go.
no
On
clues.
securely. So the blindfold is on, and it's time for your second and final spoon. This spoon is a little bigger than the last one, so if you lean forward and open wide, lean forward, open wide. Here we go. There we go. Here it comes.
Oh gosh.
You don't have to take it all.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
Oh.
Now, what have you got there?
I know.
Oh, we got an rather than a grimace, because the first one was a grimace, then we got a What have you got there?
I know this flavour, but I can't think what it is.
What's the texture like?
I know this flavour so well. I can't think what it is.
Because I had a feeling when I read through your questionnaire that this might be one of your top dishes.
Oh, how How do I know this flavour? Focus.
Focus.
Oh. I know that flavour, but I just can't think
what
it
do you
is.
think? What do you think?
Oh.
Go on. I don't want to interrupt the flow. I can give you a clue.
Is it like some kind of like Thai vibe?
Well, no.
No.
It's a little more South American.
Oh. So Mexican. This is
Well-
a Mexican.
Well, it's sort of Mexican, more maybe Peruvian.
Peruvian?
Take your blindfold off.
I'm not very good at it.
Ceviche.
Oh, I know that flavour so well. Oh, damn it. I knew it.
Well,
I didn't know it.
We were playing to your love of all things chili.
Oh, and I do love ceviche.
Yeah.
And that's a rich, do you know what? That is so fresh.
Oh yeah.
That's why
Well,
I
I
can
mean, because
tell.
we're in Mayfair.
We're in Mayfair, yeah.
Only the
darling.
best in Mayfair, darling. So,
That's delicious.
so we've pleased you, we've challenged you. Have we? We've changed your opinion on papaya.
You have. You need to do it in a non-overbearing way.
So we're not any time soon are you going to be grabbing a whole papaya and eating it, but you've learned that if you see it on a menu, you don't necessarily have to avoid it. As part of something, it works.
But how can you trust that they're going to do it as well as here?
Well, I mean, you could just eat every meal blindfolded from now on.
I'll do it. I'll do it. Yeah.
Well, you've got the new album coming out.
Yes.
The launch is happening this week.
Yeah, it's actually, the album is out.
Yeah.
And the launch is tonight.
Well, hold on. I was looking at some timer. You had 12 hours.
I know, but
Certainly
this
on
goes
Spotify.
out next week, doesn't it?
Yeah. All right. But listen, today it goes out, which is Thursday, which is next week.
Yeah.
All right. but nerves, excited, terrified,
thing.
full of anxiety. Where are we?
So the launch is actually tonight, as in
Yeah.
the launch show, the performance, right? I am so excited because I feel like everything has been leading up to this moment. I've been working on this album for 5 years, right? Every lyric and sound been back and forth on. I've been back and forth from California, talking about how it's going to sound, how it's going to look, who I'm going to be talking to, what I'm going to be doing, how it's going to look, how the show's going to be. And tonight is the album launch show that we have been working towards. So it feels a bit surreal because I feel like I've been talking about it coming out for so long and it's actually happening. And also, I'm just I can't wait to get out on the stage. I'm so excited. But also after this chat, I'm going to go back on voice rest so that I can save myself for the show. And I love champagne so much. I don't drink when I'm singing, but it's such a tease that it's there that I feel like I need to have a sip.
Have a sip.
Okay.
Because
Cheers.
you're going to rest for a couple of hours, so it'll be fine.
If it's there, I can't say no to it.
Here's to every success with the new album. Thank you so much for
Thank
agreeing to
you.
do spooning and to take on the blindfold and the spoons. You were very brave, and I'm glad that we changed your mind about papaya. That means we've succeeded, and we at Spooning wish you every success with the album. That is all for this week. Of course, a massive thanks to the team here at Mount Street. And next week, of course, we will have another special guest, and I will be blindfolding them, and I will be feeding them, and I will hopefully be changing their opinion. This podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts from and on YouTube. So until next week, please stay beautiful.